Let me be straight with you. Arsenal just got knocked out of the FA Cup by a championship club. Their best defender went off injured in that same game, and their quadruple dream completely gone in less than 2 weeks. This isn't just a bad weekend, this is a crisis moment for this football club. And if you're an Arsenal fan, you need to sit down for this one, because it's a lot to take in. The Gabriel situation, this is the big one, okay? Let's start with the most worrying thing first. Gabriel Magalhaes. For those who missed it, Gabriel went down in the 72nd minute against Southampton in the FA Cup quarter-final. He grabbed at his right leg, signalled to the bench, and walked off. Ice pack straight on the knee when he sat down in the dugout. Now here's the problem. This isn't a new injury. Before the international break, Gabriel had to pull out of the Brazil squad because of pain in his right knee. The Brazilian Football Federation even released an official statement saying imaging tests confirmed he wasn't fit to play. He stayed in London during the break instead of flying out with the national team, so he sat out 2 full weeks of rest. Arsenal start him against Southampton, and he still can't finish the game. That should worry every single Arsenal fan reading this. Mikel Arteta was asked about it straight after the match, and look, he didn't try to sugarcoat it too much. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that Gabriel felt something, they don't know exactly what it is yet, and they're going to assess him. But then he added the part that got everyone worried. He said something like, when a player asks to come off, it's never good news. And that's the honest truth, isn't it? William Saliba came on to replace him. The same Saliba who had just come back from his own ankle issue and didn't even travel with France during the break. So Arsenal's 2 best centre-backs are both carrying their bodies into the most important stretch of the season. Think about that for a second. Why Gabriel matters so much right now. Here's the thing people sometimes forget. Gabriel isn't just a good defender. He is Arsenal's defensive leader. He's the one who organises the back line, wins headers, puts his body on the line. When he's fit and playing well, Arsenal looks solid. When he's missing, things get shaky. He already missed 9 games this season because of a hamstring problem earlier in the campaign. 9 games, and Arsenal felt that. So losing him again, especially now, is huge. The Champions League quarter-final first leg is on April 7th. That's Sporting CP away in Lisbon. And right now, Gabriel is a major doubt for that game. You really want to go to Lisbon without your main centre-back against a side that's been flying in Europe. That's a really difficult ask for any team. If Gabriel doesn't make it, Arteta will probably have to put Ricardo Calafiori alongside Saliba. Now, Calafiori is a decent player, don't get me wrong, but that's not the same partnership, and big European nights are not the place to experiment. Wait, how many injured players are we talking about? This is where it gets really crazy, because it's not just Gabriel. Mikel Merino, the midfielder Arsenal signed last summer, is out with a broken bone in his foot. He got that injury back in February. He's still not back. A midfielder that was supposed to add a completely different dimension to this Arsenal team. Gone for most of the run-in. Ibarrechi Eze, another summer signing, got a calf injury during Arsenal's Champions League game against Bayer Leverkusen. He's not expected back until late April at the earliest. And even then, will he be match sharp in time to actually make a difference? That's a big question. Then there's Piero Hincapié. He left Ecuador's training camp during the international break with an injury. Arteta has since confirmed it was actually a serious one. So that's another defensive option gone. And you've also got concerns around Noni Madueke. He was spotted in a leg brace after England's draw with Uruguay, which absolutely scared the life out of Arsenal fans, though he did manage to come off the bench against Southampton, so maybe that's slightly better news. Martin Odegaard, the captain, has also been dealing with a knee issue that kept him out of the Carabao Cup final. So just to count that up quickly, Gabriel, Merino, Eze, Hincapié, Odegaard, all carrying issues at the same time. That is not just bad luck, that is a proper injury crisis arriving at the worst possible moment. Ask yourself this, can any team in the world deal with that many key players out at the same time and still compete for 2 trophies? Because I genuinely don't know the answer right now. The FA Cup exit, let's talk about it right. Southampton, FA Cup quarter-final, Championship Football Club, and Arsenal lost 2-1. Ross Stewart scored, Shea Charles scored, Victor Gyökeres got one back for Arsenal in between, which gave fans a bit of hope, but it wasn't enough. And look, Arsenal played a rotated squad. Arteta clearly had one eye on Sporting CP on Tuesday. That's understandable. But here's the thing, if you're playing a championship club in an FA Cup quarter-final with a squad full of senior internationals, you should still win that game. Southampton are a good team in the championship, I'm not disrespecting them, but this was still a shock result. And results like this have a way of damaging confidence at a time when Arsenal really don't need that. Now the FA Cup is gone, and before the international break, they lost the Carabao Cup final to Manchester City at Wembley, 2-0. And there was talk, real talk, of Arsenal going for the quadruple this season. Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League, all four. That dream lasted about as long as a pre-season hype video. In less than 2 weeks, they've lost 2 trophies. The only things left are the Premier League and the Champions League. The Premier League, the good news, okay, let's take a breath. Because not everything is doom and gloom. Arsenal are still top of the Premier League. 9 points clear of Manchester City with 7 games left. That is a healthy lead. And yes, City do have a game in hand, so they could cut it to 6 points. But 6 points with 7 games to play is still really solid. At this point, Arsenal would need to completely collapse, and City would need to be near perfect for the title to slip away. I'm not saying it can't happen. I've seen enough football to know anything can happen, but it would take a lot. The title is still very much in Arsenal's hands. And winning the Premier League, their first in over 20 years, would still be an enormous achievement for this team, this manager, and these fans. So yes, it's been a rough few weeks, but the league is right there. Don't lose sight of that. The Champions League, the dream that's still alive, and then there's Europe. Arsenal are in the Champions League quarter-finals. Sporting CP are the opponents. First leg is April 7th, away in Lisbon. Second leg back at the Emirates. After that, this is massive. This is the kind of stage Arsenal haven't really been on in a long time, and Arteta clearly believes this team can go deep in this competition. His squad selections, his tactics in Europe, you can see he takes the Champions League very seriously. But here's the worry. Going into that Lisbon tie without Gabriel, potentially without Merino, with Eze still out, with questions over several others, that's a lot to ask. Sporting are not a soft touch. They've earned their place in the last 8. And the first leg away from home is always the most important one tactically. Fabrizio Romano has been tracking Arsenal's situation closely, and the general picture from inside the club is one of real concern around the injury pile-up. Arteta himself has been open about hoping to get some of the injured players back before the Sporting tie. Whether that happens or not, we'll see. What does this all mean for Arsenal? Let me just say what most Arsenal fans are probably thinking right now. This season started with so much promise. The talk of a quadruple, the transfer business in the summer, Eze, Merino, Calafiori, Zubimendi. It felt like Arteta was building something special, and he was. But football doesn't care about your plans. Injuries don't arrive at convenient times, and results have a way of humbling even the best teams. Arsenal are still in a good position, 2 trophies to fight for, top of the league, still in Europe. That's not nothing, that's actually a lot. But the next 4 to 6 weeks will define this entire season. The Sporting tie, the title run-in, the games against Manchester City in the league. These are the moments that will decide whether this becomes a legendary Arsenal season or a nearly there one. And the Gabriel injury could be the difference in all of it. If he's out for a few weeks, that's a major problem. If it turns out to be minor and he's back for Lisbon, huge relief. Huge. Questions for you. Let me throw a few things at you. I genuinely want to know what you think. Do you believe Arsenal can win the Premier League title from here, even with these injuries? Because I think they can, but I want to hear your take. And what about the Champions League? Is Arteta's squad deep enough to get past Sporting without Gabriel? That's the one that's really worrying me right now. Also, do you think Arteta should have rested Gabriel completely against Southampton? In hindsight, playing him clearly wasn't worth the risk, or did he need the minutes after the break? Drop your answers below. This is exactly the kind of conversation we need to be having right now. Look, I love Arsenal. That's why this hurts. Watching Gabriel limp to the dugout, watching the FA Cup slip away, watching another trophy dream disappear, it stings. But this squad has real quality. This manager knows what he's doing, and there's still everything to play for. The Premier League title is right there. The Champions League is open for anyone. Arsenal are still standing. It's not over, not even close. But right now, they need Gabriel fit. They need their players back, and they need to go to Lisbon on Tuesday and show Europe what this club is really about. Come on, Arsenal. Let's see what you're made of.